All right, so I want to make a video about listening. First things first, you are not bad at listening, all right? I have had hundreds of students of foreign languages throughout the years, and one thing they all shared in common, whether they were dedicated and diligent students or whether they were uninterested and unmotivated students, almost all of them came to me and said, well, I'm bad at listening and I don't like it. Okay, you are not bad at listening. Uh, and the thing that often comes along with this, just before I get into the real meat of the conversation here, is people say, I'm not good at listening, I'm bad at listening, I hate listening, and furthermore, I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual learner, and so I don't do good with audio material. So I just want to say that you're not bad at listening. Listening is inherently difficult. It's difficult for you, it's difficult for me, it's difficult for everybody. I'm sorry to say, at least in this respect, you are not special. Listening is hard for everybody, and it makes sense. Think about it. When you read something, you can just sit down there with the book and take your time. This is most poignant, perhaps, when you are sitting in on a language exam. Maybe you learned German or French or Spanish in school, and you sat down and they gave you a test, and they did the listening portion of the test, and you did really horribly, and you did the reading portion of the test, and you did better, and you thought, well, I'm better at reading, and I'm just bad at listening. No, it makes sense. Think about it. When you listen to it, you get one chance, it's gone. It goes by you at the speed of sound and it's over, and if you didn't catch it, well, you're screwed. Whereas if you are reading something, you can take your time, you can think, what does this word mean again? I wonder what the author meant by this. And you can take your time and relax and go at your own pace. So you can sit down there with the words, get comfy with them, think about them, try to remember what they mean, or like look at the other words in the context and try to figure out, well, I don't know what this word means, but maybe it means vacuum cleaner based upon this context I'm seeing it in. And that's very hard to do with listening. Listening is just a difficult skill in general. But if you practice it, I promise you there is nothing more powerful. If you can practice listening regularly, it will increase your learning speed, the speed at which you retain information, you learn new vocabulary, your confidence in the language, your ability to speak it and feel confident speaking the language, all comes from practicing listening. Well, you can do it in different ways, of course, but if you do it by practicing listening, it's hard and painful, but it pays off. And what I also want to say over on this topic is that people often say, well, one of the reasons that it's so hard to listen, or why I'm so bad at listening when it comes to listening to, I'm learning Japanese or Chinese or Spanish, and these people you don't understand, man, they just speak so fast. And I just want to say, it's just like, seems like they're speaking fast because you're not very good at it yet. It's true, actually, linguists have spent a lot of time studying this kind of thing, and they've said, well, actually, it's true in some languages, on average, there's a slight difference in the amount of syllables that native speakers speak per minute. But if you look at the data, it's actually not that much of a difference between the slowest speaking people and the fastest speaking people, and you see a bigger difference between individuals than languages. Some people speak fast. Some Spanish speakers speak really fast, and some Spanish speakers don't speak very fast. But as a learner, when you're learning Spanish as a foreign language, it seems like everybody's speaking fast because it takes your brain more time to process the information. And also because you slow yourself down, because when you hear a word you don't know, or when you hear a sentence that you don't fully understand, then your brain like pauses you're like, wait a second, let me try to parse this and figure out what kind of information is being communicated. And in the meantime, this person has just kept speaking. And so your brain has paused, but this person's mouth is still going. And so you get this impression like you're getting too much information at once, and it must be because people are speaking so fast. It's not. I mean, you may encounter people sometimes who actually speak really fast, but in general, it's an experience that everybody has in foreign language learning. I've taught people in learning many different languages, and everybody says, "Oh, but they speak so fast." They don't. Sorry, you just need to get better at it. You need to get better at you probably haven't realized, but even your native language, you weren't always good at understanding it. I don't know if you can think back to when you were a child and maybe there was a program on the news and you couldn't understand what they were really saying fully, like because you didn't have the vocabulary, you didn't know what they were talking about. Your native language, you've heard for like tens of thousands of hours by now. And your foreign language, depending on how you study, you might have not even listened to like 100 hours by now. And to get really good, it takes hundreds of hours of listening comprehension. So, what I want to tell everybody, the take-home message for today's video is listening is inherently more difficult and it takes more practice, but because people feel like they are bad at it, it makes them even less confident or less eager to practice it. So what I'd like you to understand is you are not bad at it. It is just difficult. And if you can accept that it's just difficult, it's difficult for you, it's difficult for everyone. It's not that you're a visual learner. Nobody is a visual learner. Reading is easier for everybody. Some people will try to be like, you can be like, actually, I find that listening is easier. Those people are just trying to be special and get attention. You know, everybody does it from time to time. Don't judge them too harshly. Listening is hard for everybody. If you try to embrace it and just say, okay, this is going to be difficult, let me just try. If I don't understand this whole passage, break things down into little pieces, listen to things word by word or sentence by sentence, take things into small fragments, and slowly build up your proficiency in listening, and you will really feel a lot more confident with the language. You will remember the vocabulary better. And you will one day start to think, well, actually, I'm kind of good at listening. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Catch you in another video.